Hi, you beautiful brave hearts. I'm Dr. Darryl Wolfe, and welcome to Chemotherapy and Radiation is a Time Bomb. Now, most of you do not realize, okay, that only 2.3% of the people that actually get chemotherapy, okay, and a lot of people will get chemotherapy and radiation, but just by getting chemotherapy, all right, 2.3% of the people, and we'll just say, we'll bring it up to 3%, we'll be generous, okay? That 3% of the people are alive after 5 years of doing chemotherapy. Yeah, so just think if you got chemotherapy and radiation. Oh boy, what if they put you on all kinds of drugs? And what about the new one that they say that's called immunotherapy, which is low dose chemo every day? And you're taking it in a prescription. And they're telling people that you have to take low dose chemo in a prescription every day for the rest of your life. What do you think about that? Okay? What do you think about that? You don't want to know something? That if you had unconditional love and care for yourself, you would never, ever, ever, ever take something that was in the First and Second World War, and it was called mustard gas, that they made into chemotherapy. And understand, would you really take something that it's one of the only things that doctors get paid for? $3,000 to $5,000 per person is a kickback that they get $3,000 to $5,000 every chemo patient that they get. And understand something. I mean, if you're losing your teeth and you're losing your eyesight, you're losing your hair, okay, do you think it's really good? I mean, how many people, okay, know anything about their health, anything about their health? Let me tell you something. Every day, I get 30, 40 calls, okay, minimum. I've done 30 calls already today. And understand, one was a GP. One was a nurse. One was a chiro, and the rest were lay people. And guess what? Most of them do not have the formula of the art of healing. It's not their fault. Understand something right now, all right? Education does not make a practitioner that heals, okay? All right? The educational system that's out there. But let's get back to what I was talking about. Just know this, that right now, I have almost, okay, a dozen people. I've got 11 people that right now are doing, actually, I've put them into a watermelon fast with our nutraceuticals and other things I'm not going to get into today. And then they're going to do an advanced water fast right after that. And don't worry, a lot of these people, okay, they've had a lot of muscle wastage, okay, and energy wastage from the chemo and the radiation. But guess what? If you don't do, okay, a watermelon fast with other things, you know, internal, external therapies and nutraceuticals, and then move your way into an advanced water fast, you never get rid of the radiation or the chemotherapy that's in your cells. It stays there, and it's undermining you forever. I don't mind. Is there a medical doctor oncologist out there that would like to call me and challenge me? My number is 469-861-8884 on anything that I've said, WhatsApp or USA Direct. Understand something. What if we were wrong? What if we were wrong by trying to kill the cancer? What if it was never cancer? What if cancer doesn't mutate through the body? It's just infection that mutates through the body, such as the heavy metals, such as the chemicals, such as the parasites, the fungus, the bad bacteria that's stored in the tumor because the body's trying to lock it down. What if we were wrong? What if we were wrong, okay, that it's infection that spreads? And understand something. There are so many different cancers where they said the cancer is spread, okay, from the actual abdomen somewhere, let's say the large intestine, to the brain. And guess what? It couldn't cross the brain barrier. You have to understand something, everyone, and you need to get this. I'll be going into it deeper. But you know what causes 95% of all these illnesses is called leaky gut, but it's not leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. And as soon as you have a leaky large intestine, which 99% of the population have, you have leaky brain. Well, didn't you notice people can't think straight anymore? Didn't you notice all the neurological diseases? Okay, and it's called leaky brain because of leaky gut. And it's not leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. You know, I was listening to somebody talking, and they were talking about leaky gut, and they were saying how it was the small intestine, but it's not actually the small intestine. The small intestine could be part of the leaky gut, but understand something. If you want to heal your small intestine, you've got to heal the large intestine and the stomach first. You've got to do a stomach purge and cleanse the stomach, because that's the front door. Then you've got to clean the back door, which is the large intestine. And you don't have to just clean it. You got to build the tone back into it and bring the proper pH into it, because environment is everything. Okay, so understand this. Most people who have gotten chemo and radiation have never done any detox in their life. They still live what's called the normal diet that actually caused their problem. Okay? You know, they've just bought some time, and I don't know, they haven't bought a lot of time, because I'm going to tell you something right now. Early detection of what they call cancer, I call stage 4 inflammation, and you only have stage 4 inflammation because you are so infected and poisoned, and you are such a low vibrational person due to lack of electrical conductivity and oxygen. People are going, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, let's take a look at this. Can we bring up the next slide, please? That's the thing about technology, eh? Okay. So there's the next slide. All right, so take a look at this. Let's read this, everyone. Every single person who has cancer has a pH that is too acidic. So let's first talk about that. Come back to me, please. So let's talk about that. So the first thing is that you have such an acidic pH. Now, why would somebody get an acidic pH? Why? Because when you have infection, you get inflammation. When you have inflammation, okay, all your alkaline minerals, okay, are going to be used up in your body to try to keep that. Remember something, if you want to talk about pH and acidic pH, your blood, if it even got a little bit acidic, you'd go into a coma. If you got a little bit acidic, even a little bit more acidic, you would die. So because that's never going to happen, because your body's intelligent, all right, what you're going to find is you're going to find people say, I've got hypercalcemia. I've got too much calcium in my blood. No, you have as much calcium in your blood as you need to keep you alive right now. So hypercalcemia is not going to kill you. What's going to kill you is if your pH were to drop just a little bit, like I said, in your blood, acidic-wise, you become a little bit more acidic. Guess what? Boom, coma. Okay, a little bit more, boom, you're not here. So it's going to steal the calcium from the walls of your arteries. It's going to steal the calcium. There's other minerals in there too. And it's going to steal whatever alkaline minerals it can to feed, to try to actually put out the fire. You know what the craziest thing is? Okay. You know what? When you see somebody's house on fire and you see the firemen there, do you blame them? Guess what? So what happens is, let me just get to this. Cholesterol has been made to be the bad guy, which it isn't, because people do not die because they have high cholesterol. Okay? Understand that 350 was what we would call, we don't want to go higher than 350 with cholesterol. Most doctors are saying that if you're at 220 and 250, that you're too high. And guess what? My God, you stay away from these medical doctors, because 350, you know what is where is healthy? Anything over higher than that, we might want to take a look at it. But the reality is those who had the highest cholesterol live the longest. And guess what? You only have high cholesterol because you're kind of grouped the cracks of your arteries, because you stole the calcium and the minerals, and the actual arteries are cracking up. So now the cholesterol, like candle wax, goes in and goops it until it heals, because when you pull in so much calcium into your blood because you're so infected and your pH is dropping, like I said, it steals the minerals from the walls, so it causes cracks. Cholesterol comes in, goops it up until it heals. So there's a lot of lies out there. And I'm going to tell you, medical doctors and most nurses are not perpetuating these lies because they've been programmed that way. It's been driven into them. And understand something, 10, 20, 30, 40 years of living with these lies, how do you change? You'll even protect the lies. Oh yeah, you'll protect those lies for many reasons. So every single person who has cancer, what they call cancer, has a pH that is too acidic. Now, I call cancer stage 4, stage 5 inflammation. And the reason why you're on fire is because guess what? Did you ever notice something? Well, let's put it this way. As soon as you start to become out of alignment, you're going to have pain, stiffness, inflammation, swelling, redness, yes, okay, and heat coming off, because there's a fire going on. And that's what they call cancer. Now, Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize in, what's it say? He won the Nobel Prize in 1931 for proving that cancer can't survive in an alkaline, oxygen-rich environment, but thrives in an acidic, low oxygen environment. So understand something. Let's make this really clear. Parasites don't cause cancer. They can add to the problem. Okay, let's put it this way. So understand how we get the worst parasitical attack in our body. One thing is if our stomach hydrochloric acid is weak and we have tons of acidity in our stomach, whether we are stressing out or we don't know the art of eating. And understand, that's why go take a look at the Perfect Day Guide at, okay, ready? Therapeutic stomach detox, okay? We can also call it therapeutic vomiting, and people don't like that, but it's called therapeutic stomach detox that will cost you pennies but can save your life. It's the funniest thing, right? You were taught to detoxify your whole body. But does anybody ever talk about detoxifying the stomach? Because if your stomach was healthy, you would be healthy. Because that's the guard dog, okay, that will, well, if you ate anything that even had parasite eggs or parasites in it or fungus on it or bad bacteria, the hydrochloric acid in your stomach, if you're healthy, is strong enough to totally neutralize that. So understand, most people have a dog with no teeth, okay? So that would be that your stomach acid, hydrochloric acid is low, but you're acidic with acid. So there's a difference. Stomach acid for digesting and neutralizing bad things coming in. And then, but if you are acidic, then guess what? That's going to knock it out. Now, believe it or not, if you're the type of person that has things like heartburn, can't seem to digest your food anymore, take a look at calcium ion therapy, even just Megagen. You know what? People don't know it, but calcium regulates, calcium ions, they regulate actually how the hydrochloric acid comes out into the stomach, okay? So that's a really important thing that people just don't get. Now, let's just talk about this. So if I had low stomach hydrochloric acid to digest my food, okay, and I was highly acidic, guess what? I'm always going to have stomach problems. I'm going to have acid reflux. And now guess what? I just had a really lovely lady call me from New York, and she said that she has silent reflux. And now she says she has silent reflux. Oh my God, they give them all these names. Silent reflux, okay, where she has too much acid. Well, I agree, but it's not too much hydrochloric acid. She thought she had too much hydrochloric acid. That's what her doctor said. No, she has too much acid, not enough hydrochloric acid, because stress and guess what? a low nutrition diet with chemicals, and I know this lady has bad habits. She likes to smoke a cigar sometimes. She likes to drink her wine sometimes. She's highly stressed with her family. She runs a restaurant in New York. So understand, you can really disrupt things. Okay, so now she has what's called silent reflux, where the acid spews up. But what people don't get is when people get heartburn, okay, when they get heartburn and that acid reflux, it's not good. You could end up getting what they call throat cancer. I call stage 4 inflammation. You can do damage to your lungs. You can do damage to your trachea, okay? And understand, you don't want that. But it's easily resolved, by using just a rounded teaspoon of baking soda in a glass of water. And if you're getting acid reflux to the point that it's hurting or burning, you've got to keep baking soda in your bathroom, okay? Keep baking soda in your kitchen. Keep baking soda in your car to add it to your water. You don't want to be doing that. And most people don't understand, but they have the acid reflux because they were actually, what? Constipated, and they didn't even know. Everybody that has to sit down on the toilet and use their diaphragm, which is right under the ribs here, and go like this, and push down, okay, trying to get that bowel movement out. After a while, if you push down too hard, the stomach valve will come up above the diaphragm, and now you get this acid spewing. Believe it or not, with Wolfe Non-Surgical and cell sonic regeneration, we can actually reverse that, and sometimes just in one treatment. And guess what? Nobody else knows how to do that. Because what happens is when the valve pops up and you push your diaphragm down, you'll get scar tissue and calcification coming around it, and now it's stuck. So now what you've got to do is use Wolfe Non-Surgical, the elbow, to actually go in, but first we use cell sonic regeneration to actually put in electrical conductivity back into the tissue cells to take the scar tissue back into connective tissue, and then use our elbow, and also the cell sonic regeneration will fracture the calcium, because wherever you're inflamed, wherever you're acidic, you're going to be pulling calcium from your bones. That's why osteoporosis is so bad. And it's just like, it's like a pandemic fire right now. I get calls every day about this. And guess what? And people go, oh my God, I'm only 40 and I'm fracturing here, I'm fracturing here, I'm fracturing there. And we can prove that infection created inflammation. Inflammation caused the calcium to be pulled from the bones. And now guess what? Now, if it's a real weakened tissue area, it's going to actually bring in fibrin from the body, calcium from the body, okay? And it's going to create a wall so the parasites can't attack the weakened tissue. And when they do come in, what happens is the body tries to create walls around the parasites, then to lock them into the tumor. Because that's what happens if you go that far. So understand, 99% of the population has halitosis. And if you have halitosis, your bowels are rotting out. They're rotting out. There's no better way to say it. Your large intestine's rotting out. You've got a manure pile down there, low vibrational frequency, low oxygen. Okay, the pH is way off in the bowel. Even though the bowel's supposed to be acidic, it's way too acidic. And understand something, and now it's actually creating worms. You understand? So, like Louis Pasteur said, guess what? The bug means nothing. And the bug means nothing to me. You know what it means to me? Is the environment. Do you know how many natural health practitioners are pushing parasite cleanse, parasite cleanse, parasite cleanse? Did you know that most of you are doing parasite cleanses, whether it be herbal or whether it be ivermectin or fenbendazole, and you're getting yourself into more trouble? Because when you actually kill those adults off, those babies will actually come awake because the adults give off a hormone chemical so that the eggs stay in, the parasites stay in their eggs until they leave the body or until they die. And then those eggs hatch. But that's not what we want to do. If you're really intelligent, if you're intelligent and you're logical, then you want to get on a perfect day, because if you bring the vibration up and you've got healthy tissue, you'll never have parasites living in your body. Parasites only reside in you because you're a low vibrational, low oxygen, highly acidic, highly infected person. That's it. And then guess what? And so don't tell me that they cause cancer. the infection caused the cancer. And yes, parasites can make it worse. And by the way, yes, if you are infected long enough with parasites, with them vomiting and pooping in you and stealing your nutrition, of course, eventually, yes, you could say that they cause cancer, but no. They don't cause cancer, they can add to it. And yes, there's occasion where the parasites could have caused the cancer, but understand what's causing the cancer. It's this. It's toxic belief systems. It's the choices you make. It's what you do daily. If you were to change what you do daily and you actually had a perfect day regime, I promise you that parasites can't even live in you. But go ahead. You just keep on trying to kill the parasites or trying to do parasite cleanses every few months because you're rotting out. Understand something. I put people on what's called black diamond, black gold, daily cleansing tea. If they don't come off these three things, they don't have to worry about parasites anymore. And especially if they're eating, guess what, properly. There's not 4 food groups, there's only one. It's called high vibrational food. That's right. The amount of electrical energy and light that's trapped in the food will determine how healthy you're going to be. Did you get that? We are light, energy, electrical, magnetic beings. Okay, let's keep reading this, okay? So, Dr. Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize in 1931 for proving that cancer can't survive in an alkaline, oxygen-rich environment, but thrives in an acidic, low-oxygen environment. Okay. Worms, fungus, bad bacteria, all those things, okay, that everybody's so freaking out over, all right, they can't survive in you in a high oxygen environment. So guess what? If your electrical conductivity was 0.04 volts, if your oxygen levels were up, parasites would be leaving. They would not stay in you. They're very uncomfortable that way. So just keep thinking, I got to do parasite cleanse, I got to do parasite cleanse, and don't think that you got to bring your vibration up on an emotional, physical, nutritional, okay, level. And guess what? You're just going to be going around and around, okay, on that revolving door for the rest of your life. I never have to do another parasite cleanse again. And understand, everybody says, well, when I do a parasite cleanse, I need to do binders. No, you don't need, I'm not going to give you something to do a parasite cleanse. I'm going to give you what's called black diamond, okay, which is in this here, which I hope you know, guys, that humic fulvic, okay, don't buy mine, but I'm the only company on the planet that uses a filter to filter my black diamond and my black gold, my humic fulvic, and guess what? Everybody else uses chemicals, all right? So just so you know that. Now, black diamond, when you take it, it gets rid of parasites, such as worms, such as fungus, such as mold, such as bad bacteria. But guess what else? It locks it right in. Not like charcoal. Charcoal won't keep it in, okay? A lot of people will use Shilajit. Well, that is a very cheap, and that is a low-grade product. Go ahead and use it. I didn't say it doesn't work, but I'm only going to use the best for my people, because that is the highest frequency, highest vibration. Now, the black diamond will actually lock the parasite down, lock the chemical down, lock the heavy metal down, lock the fungus down, and it'll drop off 40 micronutrients, and it'll load itself up 300 to 400% of its weight in all of this toxic waste. And when it comes out into the environment, it never releases it. It stays in it forever. That actually stays in the product forever. So black diamond, which is this product right here, it's able to go into the brain, the blood, and all your body's tissue cells. Here's the big one. This one here is so important. If you were to do a teaspoon of black gold twice a day, right? And you just made that part of your program. And Dr. Wolfe, I can't afford anything else. Well, this would be the first thing you need. Okay? And guess what? People are always saying, I don't want to do a parasite cleanse unless I have binders. Well, you don't want binders. You don't want things that just are a magnet. You want things that are a jail. Okay? Black diamond and black gold will lock these down and they can't get out. That's it. And it'll also carry it out of the body, and you won't have these negative symptoms. Why am I talking about it with the chemo and the radiation? Because it'll also soak up chemo and radiation. And it won't do it as well unless at the end, I'm going to tell you what I do with my patients, clients, what I do with them, how I show them to do it. Just to understand. And it doesn't matter. Anybody can do this protocol. You don't have to have the C thing. You don't have to have parasites. You just want to do these things. Remember, the things that get you well are the things that keep you well. In the beginning, you have to front end load. Because the lower vibration you have, the more you have to go in and create energy to bring the vibration back up. You can turn cancer off with a frequency, and you can turn it on with a frequency. So understand something: attitude, gratitude, altitude. Okay, it's all about that. It starts here, and then the decisions that you make in here as well. Okay? So no disease, including cancer, can exist in an alkaline environment. Dr. Otto Warburg, okay, in 1931, received the Nobel Prize, okay, for discovering cancer. Now understand something, everybody. He's the only person that did it. Now go ask your oncologist, go ask your GP, and go say to them, do you know Dr. Otto Warburg? Warburg what? They'll go, Mark Warburg? You mean the actor? Okay, so does anybody think that they should have been taught this? What do you think? That's not going to happen. Let me tell you something. It's not going to happen. All right. Now, we've talked about him. Now we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about body electric. Okay, here we go. So you are an electrical magnetic being. Has anybody noticed that anybody that has an autoimmune disease, when there is no autoimmune disease, the body would never think of attacking itself? We were created by God Almighty. Please stop. The body's only attacking a certain part of the body because there is a parasite, a fungus problem there, or a bacterial problem, or there's a heavy metal problem, or there's just poisoning from the foods that you eat, considering there's only 1% of your food can be eaten in a supermarket. Okay, sometime this week, I'm going to go walk into a supermarket down in Zihuatanejo. It's the same everywhere, whether you go into the United States or Mexico. And I will walk through the whole supermarket, and I guarantee you that we will not even find 1 out of 100 things that a human being should ingest and put into their mouth. And that's the truth. Because all processed foods have glyphosate, Roundup in them. Okay? And understand something, and all animals that are not heirloom, free range, okay, truly grass-fed, okay, have antibiotics in them. And understand something. So that means every time that you do dairy products, every time that you do cheese or yogurt, okay, even Greek yogurt, you're getting antibiotics, okay? And it's also pasteurized, and I could keep going. I mean, you know what? It's a real shame that we went to a public school that was actually built by the Rockefellers. When we come out, we're just bloody morons, okay? All right? Thank God I woke up. I had enough people, and I don't mean to be like this, but I had enough people in my family, okay, suffer with cancer, heart disease, diabetes, okay, Lou Gehrig's disease, you name it. Okay, my family was riddled with diseases, and it didn't make sense to me. And that happened when I was 16 years old. I started to see this. It just wasn't logical at all. And understand, the majority of the population is always wrong. The majority of the population is unhealthy right now. And understand this. If you want a great awakening, it's going to have to happen on a personal level. And don't go around trying to save everybody or anybody. Let me see you take all your energy and all your time to get rid of your Achilles heel. Whatever symptom you have, because there are no symptoms, they're just messages of love from 50 trillion cells screaming bloody murder, that you're eating like the majority, living like the majority, thinking like the majority, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. This is a very exciting time to live in the way that guess what? You've got to have your brave heart. You've got to have the big C, and that's called courage. And you need to have a lot of it. You need to practice your courage. You need to not take things personal. You need to actually need no approval from anyone, to totally unconditionally love yourself and care for yourself like you've never done before. And then maybe your family will listen to you. Isn't it something how we all go around telling people how to live, okay? And we're barely living ourselves. Well, that's what my job is. I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a friend. Okay? My job is to worry. My job is to show that I'm suffering for the people that are suffering. How's that working for you? And understand something. We've all been played here, okay? Guys, it's not going to get better until we get better, okay? You're not going to get what you deserve. You only get what you become. What do you want to become? Have you put your heart into this yet? You came here as a spirit being. The only thing I focus on is the spirit. Everything you eat and everything you drink leaves the body. Okay? Even look at this. Even the black gold, it leaves the body. Okay? And guess what? I forgot to say, but black gold, you don't need good bacteria. Black gold is what used to be in our soils, but we can't find it anymore. Thank you very much. And this is in a concentrate, and it'll go in and restore your good bacteria. Most of you don't realize, but if you got the B, guess what? Your bacteria has been wiped out. But understand something, you could only have maybe one of Mummy's bacteria, and guess what? If you started living like I'm telling you to live, guess what? I'm going to give you a money-back guarantee if you get a consultation from us. I'm going to give a money-back guarantee to everybody that we are going to rock your world, whether you come to me or whether you come to one of my practitioners. This isn't a play on you. Understand something. You have a genius inside of you. You have a practitioner. You have a healer inside of you. And only you can heal yourself. Only you are the cure. We can give you strategies, but you have to actually buy into that. Let me tell you a little story. Let's start off with Dr. Otto Warburg. So Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize for discovering the cause of cancer. And it was what? Lack of oxygen. Now, let me just tell you a story. And this is true. So every cell in the body, if it's healthy, has 0.04 volts. That's right. We are electrical, baby. And you know what? When you can't get out of bed, your electricity is low, your oxygen is low. When you don't want to dance anymore, when you can't put a smile on anymore, and understand something, everyone, it doesn't matter. It's all leaky gut, large intestine. I'm telling you, when I say 95% of the problem, no, it's 99% of the problem. If you were to go after your colon and actually detoxify it properly and build the tone back and then purge the liver, you would be saying to me, oh my God, why didn't I do this properly before? And that's the reality. I mean, you wouldn't be finding all of these people, okay, all right, with kidney disease, okay, and going on dialysis if it wasn't for leaky gut, leaky large intestine. Okay, you know what? When was the last time your kidney was supposed to look after fecal waste or have endobacterium, okay, or E. coli going through it on a continual basis, which is the majority of the population has E. coli going into their kidneys and into their bladder. And now, I've got an E. coli infection. Well, where did that come from? Well, it can only come from your fecal waste. You got to understand this, everyone. You know, your large intestine, okay, is held together with fibers like Velcro, and it's called tight junctions, and it's only one cell thick, and it's to let the nutrition in, but not the waste. That Velcro gets pulled apart, those tight junctions, okay? And then we have a problem. And then those endobacterium create a chemical, and that chemical actually gets through, and that's what causes the leaky brain. I'm going to do a whole show on it. And that's where all leaky brain comes from. If you've got a brain problem, and then you're not going to work on I call the large intestine the first brain. Thank you very much. This is the second, because it's not really a brain. What the brain is it's a computer that runs programs. That's 90% of it, the subconscious, running programs that have been force-fed into you, and you think it's your personality. But the reality is 90% of your brain is subconscious, and only 10% is the conscious. And remember something, the brain is either a mad scientist or a beautiful chemist, right? Because you're either dumping the hack, histamine, adrenaline, or cortisol, or dumping dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. And I just told you there's a chemical that's made from the bacteria, the bad bacteria in your large intestine. And when you get leaky gut, that chemical goes up, and guess what it does? It shuts off the actual receptors that are supposed to grab the dopamine and the serotonin that was made in your large intestine. That's right. That's right. So now you're depressed. And now you're depressed. You get it? Because of your large intestine. I don't know what's wrong. And well, of course, it's anxiety and telling yourself the same dramatic story all the time. But it's actually this. It's always been about the large intestine, guys. Let's get back to our show. Here it is. You're an electrical light energy being. 0.04 volts could be in every cell. If you added that up with 50 trillion cells, if you've got 50 trillion cells, you got 2 trillion volts in your body. That is what you call a high-spirited human being. That is what you call a high-spirited human being, and that's what I am. And I'm going to stay there no matter what goes on in this world. No matter how much they try to poison me, they won't be able to. They won't be able to. Because I'm making the right strategies, and I'm doing the right things. Tell me I'm not. Okay, so now, here we go. Are you ready? Here it goes. 0.04 volts, that's what you should have if you are a light energy electrical magnetic powerhouse. Okay, so now what happens when your actual electrical conductivity drops 15%, so does your oxygen. Oh, wow. Okay, so when that happens, what happens, everyone? That's when pain kicks in, the GPS. That is a God-given, beautiful thing. When I have anything, whether it's a pain in my neck or a pain anywhere in my body, I know how to get rid of it. I really do. I'm not trying to be a smarty. I know how to get rid of any pain, any inflammation, any infection in my body. How's that? And everybody should have been gifted this when they came on the planet, except guess what? There's an entity that is on this planet that controls all corporations and all government, and guess what? Because the people in the government and the corporations are so damn greedy, they don't mind helping to harvest humans. Tell me I'm wrong, and then you can tell me that I'm crazy, all right? So here's the deal. It drops 15% in electrical conductivity. Okay, then it drops 15% in oxygen. Now you've got pain. What comes right after that, guys? Inflammation. What comes after that? Swelling, puff face. Now you're retaining water, trying to put out the inflammation. Oh, and then you're starting to get stiffness because the inflammation is now dehydrating the tissues in your body, and they're stiff like beef jerky. Ever eat a piece of beef jerky? And that's right, you call it old age. Well, I'm not that old. I am as young as they come, and I'm going to stay that way because there's going to be no beef jerky in here. And guess what? Whether beef jerky, you're talking about arthritis all the way to a tumor, it's all been about infection and inflammation, and you're out of control. So now what you've got, right? We got pain, which is created by low-grade inflammation, but the inflammation's just going to get worse and worse as the infection comes higher and the immune system comes lower. And as the inflammation comes higher, it eats up what? What does a fire eat up? Oxygen. So 15% drop in oxygen, 15% drop in electrical conductivity. We're going to have pain. We're going to have inflammation. We're going to have what? Swelling, because we got to get the fire truck, okay, to come and add water to the body to try to dilute the poison and to put out the fire, okay? And then the stiffness isn't just from the inflammation and the dehydration, it's from you pulling calcium. Once you start pulling calcium from your bones and you've got osteoporosis, you're on your way to everything that they talk about being an autoimmune disease when there isn't any, okay? And the biggest thing is, the more you have osteoporosis, the closer you are to what they call cancer. Are you with me yet? I hope you are, because you know your body's going, hey, listen, I'd rather you had osteoporosis than you actually have stage 4 or 5 inflammation and you're on fire, because then you will leave this planet. But at least if we're pulling the calcium out and we're buffering things down and alkalining the tissues, you've got longer to be here, and hopefully you'll wake up. So now the 15% drops down to 25%. 25% lack. Now you're lacking 25% electrical conductivity. Now you're lacking 25% of your oxygen. Oh my God, here we go. Wait a minute. I thought everybody's going around saying that parasites cause cancer. They're the cause. No, they're not. I just told you the cause. But could they cause cancer if you had too many of them because you're such a low vibrational place? I mean, where do you see the most parasites? Well, you'll see it in fish after the fish has been dead for 2 days, especially if it was in the heat, or you'll see it in roadkill. It's not alive anymore, okay? So understand, the lower the vibration, the lower the oxygen, the more worms, the more bacteria, the more fungus you have, because if one's there, they're all there. They all come to the parasite party. It's a parasite party. Once you hit that 25% down, okay, all the parasites come. So you go ahead and you take all the parasite killers that you want, ivermectin, fenbendazole. I'm not telling you not to, because you're going to say, wow, I killed the parasites and it killed my cancer. Well, I can believe that it brought the infection down, brought the inflammation down. But wouldn't it have been great if you got the cork out of your butt and you were to have cleansed your colon and you were to purge your liver, so that when you do go in with these different things to kill the parasite, okay? I don't want to kill anything, okay? I'm going to make it uncomfortable for any fungus, any bad bacteria, or any worm to live in this temple. It's a temple. I'm not going in killing nothing. But you might need to go in and kill things because you let it go too far, because you have the same attitude as the medical model, okay? When you break down, come and we'll pretend to fix you, okay? All right? And we'll go after the invaders and we'll get rid of the invaders. How long do you think that's going to last? So now, oxygen comes down 25%. So does the electrical conductivity. And that's why you've got infestation of a parasite party. So now, it just has to drop 10% more, and that's what they call cancer. When you drop by 35% in oxygen in your cells in a certain area of your body, and it goes for at least 3 days, guess what happens? Okay, guys, please. Your cells are you. Your cells have a personality. Did you know that your cells have the same personality as you do? The same personality as you do, 50 trillion cells do. So do you freak out much? Okay, all right. How do you act? Okay, so understand this. So now, 35% decrease in electrical conductivity and oxygen, and Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize saying that at more than 3 days of going like that, then the cell is going to what? Transform, mutate, okay, and we'll call it cancer. No, it doesn't. It says, look at this. Look at all the lactic acid. Well, you know how much lactic acid is going to be around? Because you are have an acidic pH. You've got the worms now throwing up and pooping. You got the fungus there, okay, and they all create acid. And that even creates more lactic acid. And what does your cell go? Oh my God, oh my God. Because they feel like they're suffocating. If I took away 35% of your capabilities of breathing, you would go and start freaking. And that's what your cells do, okay? All right, they'll start even getting a thick skin on the outside, trying to protect themselves against all these invaders. And then they realize there's not going to be enough oxygen to actually thrive. But oh my gosh, we can change the assembly line and we can live off of lactic acid. And that's what they call a cancer cell. So they say that cancer will spread, okay, but it doesn't spread. Infection spreads, inflammation spreads, parasites, okay, and fungus has more worms and more fungus. That's what they do. They breed, right? Okay, and that's why, you know, sometimes, or not sometimes, a lot of times you go, hey, honey, it's around 8 o'clock at night. I'm feeling kind of snacky. Okay, want a glass of wine? Okay, want some chips? Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because the fungus in you, okay, and the parasites, they love when the sun goes down because they're vampires. And you get really snacky. So Was it you that wanted the snack, or was it them that wanted the snack? Okay? All right, so now 35% decrease in oxygen and in electrical conductivity. All right, so now what are you going to do? Well, most people don't realize they have to bring up the electrical charge. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not telling you to come to me, but guess what? If you had perfect circulation, and if we could bring back your electrical charge, and we could bring back perfect circulation to your body with Wolfe Non-Surgical, with CardioMed bed, and use cell sonic regeneration, 25,000 volts, put into a love harmonic, okay? So you're getting the frequency and the vibration of that 25,000 volts, and people go, well, what frequencies are in there? How about all of them are in here? It'll actually fracture the calcium. It'll put electrical conductivity in what you think are dead tissue, which is actually tissue that was put on the barbecue, right? Well, that's what inflammation is. It's a flame. If I put a piece of meat on the barbecue and I forgot to turn it off, or no, I forgot about the burger and I came back and I had it on for an hour, I came back, what would it be? It'd be a piece of beef jerky, right? So what you're doing is you're getting about 1 inch of meat, and then you're going to cause infection and inflammation in the body, and the inflammation will cause dehydration of this live tissue, and it will actually steal, the flame will steal the oxygen, bring down the electrical conductivity, and make that tissue, whether it's a tendon, ligament, whether it's meniscus, whether it's organ, okay, it doesn't matter. A muscle, it's going to dehydrate it, and it's going to make it tough. And that's what you call getting old. Oh, it sucks to get old. I'm stiff, I'm sore all over. Well, the soreness is because you have so many different calcification and scar tissue blocks. This is a beautiful river, and there's no flow, baby. There's no flow. With every calcification block, and especially, you know, my knee. Oh, my knee is so stiff, okay? All right? Can you put it on my knee? Can you do that when I talk about knee? Thank you. So my knee is so stiff here. Well, the knee is stiff because of the dehydration of the tendons and the ligaments. And the more inflammation you have, guess what? You lose the synovial fluid. And I don't care what people think, but the meniscus will totally come back. The synovial fluid will totally come back. And we do it all the time. We give a money back guarantee. It can be, it's the same condition no matter where it is in your body. They just give it different names. There is no 110 cancers. There is no 110 different cancers. Oh my God, I need to see a cancer specialist. Okay? And there is no 2,100 diseases. There is no 175 autoimmune diseases, because the body would never attack itself. It was created by God Almighty. And let me tell you something. It's attacking the worm, the heavy metal, the chemical, the fungus, the bad bacteria. Okay? And until that leaves that part of the body, it's going to keep on trying to get rid of it for you. But too bad that you have never been on your own team. Too bad that you are unconscious because of what they've taught you in your subconscious. You're unconscious of even knowing how to look after yourself. You hardly ever look after yourself. I'm not talking about the people that are really into health. I'm talking about the majority of the population. I'm actually talking about 999 people out of 1,000. And understand, those are the people we're trying to reach. And every time that I come out here and do this, people will push back at me. You know why? Because your subconscious, which is 90% of your brain, if the belief system I'm trying to talk about right now doesn't come close enough to the belief system you have, you push away and you go, he's a quack. He's a snake oil salesman. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I bet he's not even a real doctor. I don't know. Am I a real boy? Let me tell you something right now, everyone. It's up to you. It's up to you. We can only, I've offered you so much. I created an app called BraveheartNationApp.com. Biggest masterclass website in the world, free. I have my perfect day guide here, okay? It's free. You can download it, pdgfree.com, or you can buy it for what? $49? If you tried to run this off, this would cost you $120 anywhere. Understand something. You may not believe this, and if you're new, you're going to think I'm full of it, but guess what? We're all created by the same God, creator, source. Whether we think so or not, we are family. And we need to start acting like that. Okay? And I want to tell you something right now. You can bring up your electrical conductivity, and you can do it really quick if you stop listening to the majority of your friends, majority of your family, the majority of healthcare workers. Let me tell you something. When I look at someone, I feel them. I feel their vibration, where they're coming from. Okay? All right? People are all, listen, people are good. Their belief systems are bad. Their belief systems are bad. So don't write people off. I'm never going to write anybody off. And understand something. It's called one law, one love, one world. Unconditional love for yourself and for everybody else. And guess what? Why don't you just try to look at things instead of doing things like chemo and radiation that get caught in your cells. And you understand something right now. I told you, and this is the truth. Right now, I've got 11 patients, clients, patients. I don't want them to be patients. I want them to become their own practitioners. The terrible word. And I want them to have patience for themselves. And right now, I start them off with what? I'm not going to tell you about all the nutraceuticals because then it just becomes a sales pitch. But with most of them, okay, if they come to me early enough, they're not way underweight. And if they're underweight, we got to do other things. But every one of you out there, almost every one of you could handle a 6 to 10 day watermelon, seeded watermelon fast, okay? You can do this. And most of you are going, oh my God. No, you can do this. And this is how you're going to go in and unleash the power to heal. And you know what? You're going to juice the rind instead of throwing it out, okay? And you're going to eat watermelon and blend it, and you're going to eat the seeds or blend it and drink. And understand something. 6 days, anybody can do this. If you're way underweight, give me a call, and I'll tell you how we're going to do it. And then move yourself into a 6-day advanced water fast after that. Oh my God. If you did 6 to 10 days of a watermelon fast, you can go to my Perfect Day Guide. You'll see the information in there. But if you did that and then you went into a 6-day advanced water fast where you're supporting yourself with high vibrational nutraceuticals and doing different things like, you know, like I already said, the ultimate stomach, okay, detox, which is therapeutic vomiting. People don't like to hear it. But if you do it right, you can restore your stomach, the guard dog. Okay, and then if we do the large intestine with the daily cleansing tea and black gold, and we kick in the ultimate coffee enema using black gold, I'm telling you right now, you just do those things. You're just going to call me up, Dr. Wolfe, I can't believe it. You saved my life. No, I didn't. I didn't save anybody's life. All we did was, guess what? You all eat too much. You eat too much. You eat too much. Okay, corporations have been working on this forever. Okay, all right? Let me tell you something. I eat supper, that's it. Today, all I've had is my nutraceuticals, because understand, you're going to go, whoa, whoa, Mr. Supplement Pusher. No, my nutraceuticals are high vibrational nutrition, concentrated. You know, if everybody took 30% of what they spend at the supermarket, and don't buy it from me, go find someone else then, and go buy yourself some good nutraceuticals, you'll find out that you can decrease your eating by 60% at least. How much money are you spending? And guess what? You feel like crap anyway. So let's get rid of 60% of our food. Okay? And guess why? I already told you that a frequency turns cancer on, turns cancer off. And it also does that with every other symptom. There are no diseases. There's just a symptom of you being out of alignment and not realizing you're a light energy, electrical, magnetic being. And when you go to do something, watch something, take part in something, hang around with people, or eat something or drink something, do you even say, how high vibrational is this? Will it nourish me on all levels? Will this person nourish me by even hanging around with them? We're just going to keep on talking. I'll just keep coming on, and I don't care if I have to come on 1,000 times. Okay, oh, I heard that before. Well, guess what? It's not for entertainment. It's for entertainment, to train you to love, honor, and respect yourself and know that you can heal from anything. Let's see if anybody has anything to say here. From the way I understand, the radiation kills the internal organs and most people die from organ failure. I don't really like to talk about it like that. I will tell you that the radiation gets stored and the chemo gets stored. And if you go through the process that we use, you'll actually feel the chemo and the radiation coming out. You know, I've worked on people that have been radiated certain parts of their body, and as the radiation comes out, it looks like they're going to have holes and it's eating away their tissues. But once the radiation comes out, we have beautiful healing, and we know how to use high vibrational things because it's all frequency, guys. If you've got a 20-foot hole, you need a 20-foot ladder, not a 10-foot one. Instead, I climbed it twice, I'm out. You're not out. You just think you're getting out. Okay? All right? You're welcome, Catalina. We have been played big time by, yeah, I know, but let's not keep getting played. Listen, if any of you can afford it, and listen, we can't bring the price down any further, but if you ever come to take my whole life health, okay, certified, go to bhnuniversity.com. You'll have it all. You'll have it all. In 9 days, you'll walk out of there. You will stand, okay, you'll have an inner standing, and you will not compromise yourself for anyone anymore. And you'll be able to talk to them in a way that they will not feel disrespected, and you will be respected, okay? Black gold, how much is it? I don't know how much the cost is. I think we have like 3 different sizes. You know what? I'm in charge of searching out the best nutraceuticals on the planet, and then I give them their names, and I don't do anything else. Okay? And when I say I don't know the price, it's not because I'm trying to hide it. Okay? I do know this. We have not put our prices up in 17 years. How's that? And that's the God's truth. And our prices have gone up. So we're trying to figure out the best ways possible not to do that. Okay? But if you go to docofdetoxstore.com, you can find all our products. The calcium ion therapy is a little harder because the FDA, they are so threatened by calcium ion therapy because it's probably the most powerful nutraceutical on the planet. Can you send the link to order the black gold? docofdetoxstore.com, or you can just go to Doc of Detox. Put in black gold at the top, but please don't buy just the black gold. It's a binder. It will grab all these things and lock them down and drop off 40 micronutrients, but you need daily cleansing tea. Guys, this isn't a sales pitch. I made this tea, okay, with a master herbalist when I was 28 years old. Nobody's duplicated it, and it's 5 different herbs, and it's frequency charged, and it goes in and it cleanses gently all your detox organs. And if you drink the tea in the morning and at night, it tastes like iced tea. You can add a little honey to it. You can hide it in the soup. You can hide it in a blender drink. It's still going to work. And I'm telling you, you want this. If you do black gold and daily cleansing tea, because what if you're jammed up jelly tight? I mean, most people think they have no bowel problems. And I'm telling you right now, just know this, okay? You can't forget this. 25 years ago, bowel cancer was 27. It's number 2, and it's going to be number 1 in 3 years. I'm telling you right now, we are just jammed right now with people coming to us and going, I've got a tumor. I just had another one come today, and they're supposed to call me back, and he's in the hospital. This gentleman's in Vancouver, and I know how to get that tumor out. Okay, we just worked with John Richardson, and if you know, he is the biggest person in B17 in the world, and he's going to be doing a World Without Cancer, okay, in September. And it's going to be a whole day event. He's going to bring on 18 different doctors and healers, okay? And let me tell you, John Richardson has poured himself into his work to the point that he actually had a bowel block. And he called me from the hospital. And understand it, it took 8 to 10 weeks. But guess what? He's back, baby. And they wanted to cut out 2 feet of his large intestine. I said, John, and I can say it because he's a friend of mine. I don't tell people don't get surgery. I just say, if I was in your shoes, if you're not in a critical, life-threatening situation, and remember something, the bowel can be a life-threatening situation. You know, whether you want to believe this or not, why don't you take a look at how you poop and how you pee? Okay? You know when you're getting closer to the grave, the more problems you have peeing and pooing. And that's the God's truth. And no, you cannot have your bowel blocked off for that long. Do you know what? Do you know how many people are calling me and saying, I just threw up feces? Do you understand? You know that they threw up feces because they're so blocked up, the body can't get rid of it the other way because the adhesions, which are scar tissue, are wrapping around and choking the intestine off. Every time you feel bloated, every time you have cramps, every time that you have that, guess what? It's inflammation. Inflammation causes scar tissue formation. And the body sends tons of fibrin there to try to create all this scar tissue so that the parasites can't get in. And if they do get in, then it creates more scar tissue and calcium, and that's called a tumor to wall the suckers in. But understand, you can't be blocked off in your bowel long, or, you know, so I get it. If it's a critical thing, you got to go to surgery. But even if you had surgery and then the bowel's resectioned, that scar tissue right here, that's where the tumor is going to grow again, because you've got to get rid of the scar tissue from the surgery. Surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else. Why don't you ask everybody, whether it's a knee surgery, hip surgery, back surgery, shoulder surgery, it doesn't matter where. Okay, they're going to tell you, well, I don't have feeling there anymore. Or it's so stiff, I feel like I'm going to tear it out. Did you know a Wolfe Non-Surgical Therapist, okay, and if they had a cell sonic regeneration, great. If they don't, they can still get rid of the scar tissue. Scar tissue is the lack of electrical conductivity and circulation, and we can bring it back. Everybody can have perfect circulation. You have that, your health is going to come back. We have been so screwed over. That has to end. Okay, I want more people to find their courage and to speak proudly. Okay, listen, I'm going to tell you something. You know Ty and Charlene Bollinger? Well, they're very good friends of mine. I've known Ty for almost 20 years. And understand something. It's people like that who came out and spoke out. That, you know, they spoke out because they actually love and care for people. Okay? They saw what was going on. People don't need to be, you know, whether you want to believe it or not, nobody has to be sick. There's no genetic diseases. There's no diseases. It's all just your body telling you that you're out of alignment and that you're going to a practitioner that's out of alignment and giving you a bunch of BS. That's it. That's all. Your link is not good. Please verify. No, it's docofdetoxstore.com. It's not whoever, Gayleen, I don't know if that one works. It's docofdetoxstore.com, or just go to Doc of Detox and hit store, and then, or type in black gold or whatever you're searching for. Would you speak someday on ascites? Well, guys, I will. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it tomorrow. Ascites. Okay? And guess what it is, guys? It's water retention. And I'll give you a little bit, but tomorrow I'll go through it with you. I'll even bring my charts. But ascites is where we called the fire truck. You better get over here because this person is blocked up, infected, and inflamed, and we're heading towards what they call stage 4, 5 inflammation, which is what the doctors call cancer. And then these cells are going to want to start eating lactic acid. And they're going to go from aerobic to anaerobic. And soon as they go anaerobic, all the worms, all the fungus, all the bad bacteria is just going to become a parasite party. So get the fire truck over here and start pouring water into the area. So ascites can happen. Mainly it can happen in the abdomen. Okay, all right? That's where ascites usually happens. And it's water retention. The water's not going to leave. And if I can say this, when you start retaining water, which is called ascites, everyone, okay, and they go and drain that water off. You know, I've seen people get a gallon of water drained off. When they totally drain it off, what do you think they did? They just told the fire truck to go home, and now the fire's still here. I think that sometimes you have to drain the water off because the pressure's so bad with all the water retention. But wouldn't it be great if they said, okay, let's drain off 60 or 70%? I think when you drain too much off too fast, you're going to create a big problem. Remember something, it's not the water's fault. The water's there because of the fire, okay? So the rind is juiced and the flesh is blended with black gold and yeah, you can put black gold in there. But look at, when you do the watermelon, everyone, and if you're going to do the watermelon cleanse, or not even if you're doing the watermelon cleanse, the rules that get you well, keep you well, you just won't have to do them intensely like, oh my God, I'm trying to save my butt kind of thing, right? We go into maintenance, man. We go into cruise control. I'm in cruise control. If you knew how much I did every day, I do the work of probably 6 people in a day. You know what? You get your clarity back. You're not going to get that until you get what? Leaky gut done. And if you can't think, it's because you had leaky gut first, now you got leaky brain. But anyways, when you do the watermelon, you can eat the watermelon, right? And I want you to squeeze a little bit of lime, just a little, don't overdo it, just a very tiny if you want. If you don't like it, don't do it. Or a little bit of lemon, just a teeny bit. And then I want you to sprinkle salt. Not a lot, just what? Okay, I've got an appointment. I got to cut this short, everyone. So, oh yeah, I do. Okay, so a little bit of salt, and that could be real salt, Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, or some good salt from other countries. There's great salt all over the world. We don't even know their names, okay? And you put a little bit of salt on the watermelon, you eat the watermelon, okay? Or you put a little bit of salt in the blender drink, and you blend the watermelon so that you really crush up the seeds well, because there's a lot of fatty acids, there's a lot of magnesium, there's a lot of minerals in there and that extra little bit of fiber. And then you take the rind and you juice the rind. Now, I was talking to a lady today, doesn't have a juicer. So she says, well, I just added a little bit of water, some water to it, and then I'm going to blend it, and then I'm going to squeeze the juice out. I said, that's great, but please just go buy a blender. Okay, well, I haven't got a lot of money. I said, well, then go to Marketplace on Facebook and look for a Breville, or look for a stainless steel Breville. You might get it for $150 or something. They're like $350, $450 new. You know, I said, but do end up getting the juicer, because what gets you well keeps you well. You just don't have to do as much of it. See, I still do all the things. I do all the things that somebody who has a chronic problem, even life-threatening, does. But I only have to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? It's easy for me to do, right? The more you disrespect yourself and dishonor yourself, the more you're going to have to spend, the more energy you're going to have to put into, because you've got 50 trillion cells saying, why can't you love yourself? Well, because you've been programmed not to. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to turn this around. I love your no-nonsense attitude when he discusses health and wellness, focused on the majority of persons. So the watermelon rind is juiced and flesh blended, and with black gold, yes. What about chlorella? Well, I think chlorella is a good product. I'm just not a chlorella guy. You know, there's many ways to the top of the mountain, and please don't think you have to have mine. Okay? The source has created a bounty for us that, you know what? There's just so much beautiful food out there still. So many ways to get healthy. Let me tell you, if you live in a city, you've got blinders on. You only see what's in the supermarket, right? I'm in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico, right? So I live here, and I also live up in St. Cloud, Florida, and but see, I live off of Jim Gale's Food Forest Abundance. We're right now building a World Healing and Training Center there that'll open up the 1st of February. So you know what? I build my life around health and healing for me. I don't compromise myself and say, I need to be poisoned. And understand something. You're not going to like this. You're not going to like this at all. You're being poisoned because you choose to be poisoned. You believe that you have limited possibility until you go in and you know how to do the subconscious work. That's why I'm telling you, think about coming to Brainwash Boot Camp on all levels called Whole Life Health Certified in Ixtapas y Watanago in October. All right? Go to bhnuniversity.com. My boyfriend does not believe that all food is bad at the grocery store. It is very frustrating. He's watching now. Can you please say something to him? I appreciate you. You're not going to like what I'm going to say. Thank God he's just your boyfriend. Okay, and understand something. You need to get this. The majority of the population is never going to buy into my BS, my belief systems, or your belief system. Okay? You need to understand, everyone, when you decide you want to be with someone for life, you better make sure that they are a free spirit and they have logic. 99.9% of the population has no logic anymore. No logic. And that's the God's truth. Logic is gone. So he believes, your boyfriend believes, the more that man touches it, and the more processed it is, the better it is for him. If food is wrapped by nature, that is God's gift. It is wrapped by man, then it's manipulated and you're going down. That's it. And guess what? Men, guess what? Men are narrow-minded mostly. Most of them are, and I'm not calling your boyfriend narrow-minded. I was at one time. And the reality is this. We get very stubborn, but he better open up his mind because I'm telling you right now, people aren't going to make it. They're not going to make it. Between the chemtrails, the 5G, what about the blue light? I bet right now that you and your boyfriend are watching something, and guess what? After 3 minutes, we're already starting brain damage, chemical hormone imbalancing, just by looking at blue light. I tell people about Tesla lightwear. Again, it's like, no. They go and buy blue blockers that don't even work. Tesla lightwear will actually take this, that we're making nutrition out of blue light right now for my brain and my eyes. And I'm being healed by blue light. There's only one pair of glasses in the world, and it's called Tesla lightwear that'll do it. They're fluorine lenses. If you know about Fibonacci, if you know about the flower of life, if you know about C60, that's what's in these lenses. And that's all the difference in the world. And then your boyfriend doesn't understand this, and that's another scam. You got to remember, when people hear all this stuff and it's so far off their radar, guess what? They block it. They just block it. They don't research. I say to everyone, prove me wrong. Go ahead, prove me wrong. And then why don't you call me up and come on my show and prove me wrong? Because maybe you'll be helping to save all these people from the terrible Dr. Wolfe. All right. Daryl, is it necessary to use a particular juicer for the watermelon rind? No, it is not. A NutriBullet is not a juicer. That's a blender. So you'd have to put some water in the NutriBullet and then blend up, and then you'd have to I don't know, get some cheesecloth, I guess, and squeeze it and get the best of it out of there. Juicer's a juicer, a blender's a blender, love. Okay? Be safe in Mexico. Oh, no, don't worry about me. Be safe in Mexico. All right? Okay? Okay, right now, let me just say this, and then I'm going to go. I just want you to know something right now. Okay? With all the Spanish people that are being threatened to be kicked out of the United States, this is Mexico's way of saying, we don't want Americans here. If you don't want us, we don't want you. All right? I'm not going to have anything to do with that. I love the people down here, and the people I know down here love me. And that's that. And the reality is this. I have unconditional love for everyone. You go ahead, you watch your news, get all wrapped up into everything. I mind my own business. And what's that? I am going to make sure that we are going to keep putting the shows out. I hope you know that we just signed a contract with CUE, and we are going to be on 1,300 different podcasting stations, 24 hours a day on Q. Check it out, everyone. Okay? And we're going to also be bringing out a show called The Sovereign Soul. How would you like to learn about how you financially can protect yourself? How would you like to learn how health-wise protect yourself, emotionally protect yourself? We're going to be coming out with that show. And that show will be on bhnapp.com, and it'll be on Q, this big platform, because we wouldn't be able to do it here. I mean, like my social media girl, every day she gets up and she goes, thank you, one more day, because we are being told that we are getting kicked off of all platforms because of my big mouth. Anyways, guess what? It might be a big mouth, but I've got a big heart and you're in it. Okay, I don't need to know you. You don't need to like me, but understand something that I learned years ago, and that's unconditional love for myself and all my brothers and sisters. God bless everyone. I'm late for a meeting. Have the best day of your life. 3, 2, 1, you got this.
It's time to let it go. Shake it like Elvis. Feel the funky flow. Don't let it weigh you down. It's time to take the stage. Free yourself from the chains of your digestion cage. The scoop on poop is the truth you need. Daily cleansing tea is the secret seed. Don't drop your core on the floor, my friend. Let the rhythm move you till the very end. Rotten to the core, the way to be. Find your inner groove with the cleansing spree. Flush out the toxins, let your spirit rise. Feel the funky freedom in your thighs. The scoop on poop is the truth you need. Daily cleansing tea is the secret seed. Don't drop your core on the floor, my friend. Let the rhythm move you till the very end. Let it out, let it flow, don't hold it back. A little funky movement keeps you on track. Shake those hips, let the toxins slide. Groove with the beat, let your soul collide. The scoop on poop is the truth you need. Daily cleansing tea is the secret.